Hi, I'm Dr. Yata. As you know, the channel is in its early stages. I would like it if you can subscribe, like, and share to motivate me for more content. After episode 9, and at the request of many of you, I am pleased to talk again about how to overcome stress, anxiety, and depression. Well, stress, anxiety, and depression have in common the fact that they put a lot of pressure on the brain, putting it into a permanent state of high excitement. The brain then operates almost always in sympathetic mode. We talked about this last time. From a blood point of view, there is constantly more blood reaching the brain, generally under high pressure that is a risk for stroke. More glucose, more adrenaline, and cortisol, which are responsible for super excitement and psychological and mental irritability, but also physical fatigue. So in a situation of continuous stress, the brain's functioning is completely overloaded. It gets crazy. You can compare it to a freeze computer that keeps running forever, either because of a virus that infected the computer, or there are so many commands that the processor speed or memory can no longer keep up. Most of the time, the solution is just start over. Allow the RAM to clear of the many actions and commands in progress. Most often, a simple restart of the computer fixes the crash problem. Well, it's a similar process with a brain in the midst of a stress, anxiety, or depression crisis. That's the key. If you understand this comparison, you might have an idea of how to escape the grip of stress. So let's put it another way. Everything happens in the brain, or better, in the brain's perception. The secret to overcoming stress, anxiety, and depression is in your head. You don't have to look elsewhere. Stress and anxiety are not like an infectious disease where a microbe infects you and produces the disease. No, it's not like physical trauma where you get stabbed and you have to stitch it up. No. It's a problem of perception at the brain level. It's essentially an image the brain creates about the difficult situation you're going through right now or in the future, which the same brain struggles to resolve, using all the resources it can. Besides, originally, stress is a self-defense process that the brain puts in place to get you out of the danger it thinks you are in. Think carefully. It is the brain that automatically puts you in a state of alert or stress. It does this without you asking any questions when there is a fire, an accident, danger, etc. It produces adrenaline, cortisol, and others, so it automatically puts you in sympathetic nervous system mode. So to fight and eventually overcome stress, you have to trick your brain into believing that you are not in danger, and that the problem you have is not a danger to you. You don't consider it as being able to put your life at risk, nor the lives of people you care about. The love, social, financial, or professional problem, etc. is not a big deal for you. Make a voluntary effort to minimize it. Make it like a brain reboot. Give to your brain new information. Make him reconsider the current problem you are experiencing. Only in this way will you be able to overcome the condition and the consequences of stress. If you can mentally convince your brain to reconsider things, believe me, you will have already overcome stress 80%. Everything happens in the brain. There is no drug solution at this stage, one that you have to drink or inject to resolve stress. This is why, unless it is a placebo or a tranquilizer, the psychiatrist or psychologist has no other instrument than speech during the consultation or treatment.
But doctor, how can we actually do this? The 6 points or things to do and how to approach them.
Before returning to the 6 points I mentioned in the last episode, I would like to add this. For those who do not know, the active brain operates in an electrical mode by emitting electromagnetic waves which have different frequencies depending on the state of activity, wakefulness, or sleep. Simply put, each level of physical or mental activity corresponds to a specific brainwave frequency. Since stress is observed when the brain's overall frequency is very high, any technique that lowers this frequency will also reduce stress. Today, there are several scientifically proven techniques that allow you to lower brain frequencies. Based on their frequency values, expressed in hertz, we distinguish 5 different types. From the lowest to the highest frequencies, we classify delta, theta, alpha, beta, and gamma waves under the acronym DETABIG. We will describe them in the next episode. As you begin to understand, overcoming stress will involve how you make your brain reconsider its perception of stress and how you can use personal techniques to reduce the overall brain frequency.